You don't have to love reggae music to appreciate the multi-talented Carlos Jones. Dee Perry from National Public Radio says that Carlos Jones is the crown prince of reggae music. Sirius XM's reggae DJ Dermot Hussy says that Carlos Jones' band is one of the best in America. C Magazine from Cleveland says that Carlos Jones is to reggae music what Jim Brown was to running backs, the undisputed champ. And Fox 8 News says that Carlos Jones is a Cleveland music legend. We caught up with Carlos Jones recently at the Music Box Supper Club in Cleveland. Carlos Jones talked about his 40-year career in music, he discussed his life, he talked about his regrets, he doesn't have any, and he talked about his favorite charity, Alive Inside. As usual, Pittsburgh Scott Ernst was weaving his magic behind our camera.
I love music. It's like so many other people. It's been, part of the soundtrack to my life ever since I was a kid, and to be able to play music and have people receive it as they have is just an unbelievable blessing to me.
When you have me, I thought your love so strong. Oh, darling, I dedicate this song.
People say, Carlos is a reggae icon, but, what do you want to be known as?
Well, anytime I hear that term icon, it always amuses me because it's like, well, when did that happen? I think it's more accurately described as I refuse to go away. I've just been around doing what I love to do, and I've been allowed to do that for 4 decades now, which when I say it, it even sounds unbelievable to me. So if people want to use that word, that's fine. People view you however they view you.
How would you explain the longevity? 40 years playing. Not a lot of musicians are still earning a living because you do this full time. Mm-hmm. You do this full time, but not a lot of musicians or singers are doing or lasting as long. 40 years and you're as popular as ever. You sell out every place you go. How do you explain this?
I don't know, man. I think that the love I have for it and the joy that I feel every time I get to do it, I think that transfers to people.
And she dances, oh brother, she's a hurricane in all kinds of weather. Jump in the line, rock your body in time.
When they come and hear us, they get a dose of that joy and that love and that positivity, and that gives them something to take with them. What I discovered was that, the beat of the music, it's really so organic and rooted in just the natural rhythms of life and the universe itself. It's like it echoes our own heartbeat, and that's what connects us all, subliminally, subconsciously to that rhythm, because it's something that we all recognize. From birth, you hear your mother's heartbeat in the womb,
Sure.
And so that's the rhythm of life, and that's what the foundational rhythm of reggae music is based upon.
Now you do some other type of music, though.
Oh, absolutely.
You collaborated with a guy, I don't know his name.
Yeah, Scotty Hansen.
Yeah, Scotty Hansen. Yeah, and you have a song that actually was very popular here in the Greater Cleveland area.
You're what I'm craving for. I find myself wanting more life. I'm feeling I can't.
I was actually surprised because I'd only known you as a reggae singer.
Right. And most people only know me as being a reggae singer, but those closest to me know that I'm influenced by all different types of music across the board. I come from a background, like I said, from Virginia, and Southern Baptist gospel music was one of the first things I ever heard because my grandfather was the pastor of the church,
Sure.
And so hearing that, and then hearing the records that my mom and dad played, the blues and the jazz, and then even the big band swing, I fell in love with all of that at an early age. Mm-hmm. And so that all comes into play with, not only songs that I write, but, artists I collaborate with. I feel very comfortable branching out and experimenting with almost any genre of music.
Now, who's been your biggest influence? And I know you said from early days with the Beatles, you love the Beatles.
Yeah, I would say
Who's been your biggest influence?
Beatles, James Brown, Stevie Wonder, Michael Jackson, Santana, Genesis,
Carlos,
believe it or not.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was a big Genesis fan, So yeah. And when I say Beatles, that means John Lennon, Paul McCartney. All of them in their contributions, individually and as a group.
Well, I noticed though you didn't mention, probably because you forgot.
Of course, Bob Marley.
Yeah,
that's obvious. Yeah.
You didn't mention Bob. I mean,
but this was all pre-Bob.
Yeah.
Those influences. Later on, mid '70s, I heard Bob Marley, and that just blew me off the map. And so I had to dive into that and find out what that was all about.
Now, one thing I want to ask you too, though, is as a musician and somebody who's been at it for 40 years, you are, I would say, also an entrepreneur. You're of sorts. You have a coffee.
Yeah, I mean,
you got a business. You're running an enterprise, really, aren't you?
I wouldn't say that I personally am running it, but I am invested in it. The idea to have a line of to go into coffee was actually my manager Larry Koval's idea, because he's all about the branding and the merchandising and all that kind of things, and that's why we have the T-shirts and the CDs. I mean, all I really cared about was making the music, but it's like, well, you got to put it out there and get your brand out there.
I agree with that completely.
Yeah, and so if there's something that I can put my name on that I can really stand behind, that's great. We partnered with Cleveland Coffee Company, which is here, in Cleveland. Some good friends of mine run that. We ended up calling the coffee Positive Vibrations, which is the title of a Marley song, and also just it's basically the theme of what it is I do, and my goal in life is to spread positive vibrations. Their thing is that, we can sell coffee, but we'd also like to do some good for the community. So he said, if there's a cause or a charity that you would like to align yourself with to benefit, from coffee sales, then name it. And I said, well, actually, if we could do something to help those with dementia and Alzheimer's, because that's something that's close to me personally, because of my mom. Let's do that. And so the organization is called Alive Inside.
Alive Inside.
Alive Inside. Yeah.
Okay.
They pair young people, like high school age students, with an elder that has dementia, and that young person finds out, as much as possible what this person likes and what music, they liked, and kind of like get their story. And then Alive Inside has these music players, which are basically MP3 players embedded into a pair of headphones, And so once this young person finds out the music of this person's life, they can load these headphones up with that music and then give it to the person to play and listen to, and watch how that music unlocks the memories.
There's a place where I long to go, where I haven't been for such a long time now.
Is there anything that you say, hey, I wish I would change this, or I wish I could do this differently, or would have done this differently? Anything in your life, in your 40 years in the music business and your life in general?
I really have to say that even the things that at the time may have seemed regrettable or seemed like a wrong turn or something like that, I'd have to say, no, I wouldn't change that, because the path I took, however winding it was, is what led me to where I am today, and what taught me the things that I know now. So, I think there have been movies made about this, about taking the right door instead of the left door, and then how your life would end up. And so Yeah, you know, I can only imagine that had I not done certain things, I might be a totally different person.
Yeah.
You know, I wouldn't have met my wife. You know, I wouldn't have two beautiful daughters. You know, I wouldn't have 40 years in the music that I love so much. You know, I might not even live in Cleveland. You know, I might be in LA or somewhere. You know, so yeah, I don't think I would change anything because all those puzzle pieces are what create the picture of what my life is today.
Reggae got the rhythm that makes you want to move. Never feels so nice. That's when you're stepping into the groove. There's so many people dancing all over